Welcome to SVG-TV News for Monday, November 4th, 2024. I am Rochelle Batiste with the details. Over the last 5 years, the government has spent over $65.43 million on housing. This was highlighted by Edmund Jackson, Director General of Finance and Planning, who was the guest speaker at a conference hosted last Thursday at the Grenadines House by the Insurance Association of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The topic discussed was Hurricane Beryl's economic aftermath, the impact of uninsured and underinsured properties on SVG's recovery.
Now imagine, if we didn't have to spend this much on housing, what else we could be doing in the economy, right? So anyway, I'll give you the numbers by year. In 2020, it was $9.1 million. In 2021, $10.91 million. In 2022, $14.15 billion. In 2023, $12.23 million. And 2024 to date, yeah, be carefully, to date, $19.03 million. And we've heard the Prime Minister speak about the impact on housing and that we may need between $400 to $500 million to help persons re-establish their homes. To help persons re-establish their homes. All right? Significant amount of money. And you know, you hear the complaints, because the government doesn't have this money in a kitty like Stanley somewhere. So they can just pull it out and begin to spend money. And even if they did, the structural constraints in the economy, the availability of materials, of skilled men, and so on and so forth, equipment, would have still slowed them down, right? And that's something that, you know, people have to, that message has to go out. Yes, you know, persons are inconvenienced, they're frustrated, but these things take time.
Jackson pointed out that the government has implemented a number of disaster risk management measures, including legal and institutional strengthening, the rollout of the disaster risk management and finance strategy and action plan, and the establishment of the contingency fund, which he deemed a worthwhile venture.
And I would say thank God we did, because we have been able to lean on it for immediate financial resources to deal with relief. It came in extremely handy during COVID. It came in extremely handy during the eruptions, and it is now proving to be extremely handy because we can now put more of our own resources in the immediate effort to respond. Because for those of you who may not know, you may hear a lot of things on the news, you know, a lot of donations and all of that, but it's a drop in the bucket of what we need. So sometimes the headlines, you know, make it sound, and then there's this perception that government siphon off that money and do something with it, but we won't go down that road. But you know, that is there, unfortunately. So we did a supplementary budget about 3 or 4 weeks after Beryl, and it's about 136 million. 15 million of that, the greatest pie, came from the contingencies fund.
Regarding private insurance stats for properties, the Director General of Finance noted that with over 37,000 households in SVG, just under 8,000 properties are insured.
So that turns out to be a penetration rate of about 21%. 21%. Now, all of us would agree, when we look around St. Vincent, there are significant improvements in the housing stock. Why aren't we seeing it in the numbers here? In terms of the mortgage data, number of mortgages written in the country in terms of the second quarter of 2024, as at the end of June, for credit unions, it was 2,364. I'll come back to the value in a minute. And for banks, commercial banks, it was 3,965. So you give me the total. So that was 6,000 something, right? So that was 6,000 something. What I want to assess is how many non-mortgage properties are insured. And that to me will give you a clear indication of how our population sees risk, their understanding about risk, their level of financial literacy, and many more things. So 1,600 unmortgaged properties are insured. 1,600. Now, in terms of value, credit unions of the 2,364 mortgages that they hold is $237.72 million. And for banks, of the 3,965 mortgages that they hold, is just under 400 million, 3,399.92 million. All right. So we have a problem.
The Insurance Association of St. Vincent and Grenadines stated that the conference aligns with the goal to educate and provide mitigating strategies on this critical issue to all stakeholders and the Vincentian public in general. SVG's tourism sector will be in focus for Tourism Month, which started on November 1st. Minister of Tourism Carlos James, who participated in a tour of Dark View Falls in North Leeward this afternoon, told SVG-TV News that despite the devastation caused by Hurricane Beryl, the sector has bounced back favorably and the focus will be on stakeholders.
We have had some challenges with sites. In fact, the effects of Beryl has really put a dent on some of our natural environment. The sites which we've been promoting for some time has been adversely affected. I know that the team at National Parks Rivers and Beaches Authority have been working assiduously to remedy some of the challenges. And so far we have seen some upgrades to some of the sites, some enhancements and so on. But going into the next season, this season going into 2025, 2026, we anticipate we're going to add more sites and value added at the site. For instance, at this location here, we're going to put in and install a massage station. When you come to the fall, you can get a hot stone massage, you can therapeutic massage here just above the fall where the mist is hitting you. And that is going to be installed. In Cumberland, we're looking at installing a pirate-themed location, Pirate Cove, which will have a restaurant, cabanas, gazebos, and a location where we can host a number of cultural activities to cater for arriving passengers both by sea and air.
The minister stated that they will be looking at ecotourism sites to ensure they are ready for the cruise ship season.
The devastation we have seen across our product, the effects that we've had on tourism sites, on hotels, accommodation, and we've been able as a people and as an industry to bounce back and to recover and to see growth in all areas in our tourism sector. Increased arrivals by air, stayover arrivals for the first 6 months of the year. In fact, the numbers held. We're showing a 30% spike in tourism stayover arrivals. And our cruise has been consistent. Third year of seeing a tremendous growth within our tourism product for cruise tourism. And it augurs well for development, it augurs well for all of the stakeholders who are responsible for building out this tourism industry.
A number of activities are also planned for the month, including workshops, symposiums, and retreats. And the first cruise ship expected to arrive in St. Vincent is on Wednesday. Chief Executive Officer of the SVG Tourism Authority, Annette Mark, is looking forward to the cruise calls as there are new initiatives to be implemented. Mark says tourists can expect to be wowed, noting that it is timely to tap into the tourism products offered by SVG.
I spoke to you about our sailboat visitors, and this year the cruise ship season has started already. We've had a number of calls already to the Grenadines. Our first ship actually comes in on Wednesday. Our first call to St. Vincent on Wednesday. However, we went to the FCCA meetings in St. Martin about 2 weeks ago. Fabulous meetings, and it was great to hear from the cruise ships what they want to see. And the typical just coming to our site, and they said it to us, we have sites, but they want people to come and immerse themselves in our culture, our history, our people, right? It's a different kind of experience that they're looking for.
The Tourism Authority CEO added that they are looking to improve existing tourism sites, including the one at Dark View Falls in North Leeward.
And we have so much history, and we have so much culture here. I mean, our Garrafonas, so we are looking now to develop our products, our sites, to ensure that when persons, not just the cruise ship, other visitors, locals, when they actually visit these sites, there will be an experience. There will be food, so gastronomy tourism, and there will be entertainment. There will be aspects of our history. You can learn about the site. Why Dark View Falls? What is it all about? If you go to the fort, You know, there'll be a reenactment of what happened about in our history with the Garifuna, you know. So we are looking at all of these now, and maybe not rolled out for this season, but definitely whatever we can implement this season, we will be implementing. But for the next season, we're looking to make sure that we bring that experience to our visitors.
The inaugural Cannabis Festival, Cannabis, was deemed a success following the 3 days that ended last evening with a reggae concert. Chief Executive Officer of the Medical Cannabis Authority, Dr. Gerald Thompson, stated that the festival has left a positive impact on participants, which bodes well for St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Grenadines is certainly a major leader in the Caribbean in this particular field, and that we've been tapped on for consultancies, for information, and also looking at trade in terms of inter-regional trade. That's been one of the main goals. Okay. Selected farms. Then we had an expo. We had a traditional cultivators village built by traditional cultivators, and then we had a big show with Marla Nasher.
Now, Dr. Thompson noted that there were some challenges faced which will need to be addressed for the hosting of the next festival in 2025. And the Medical Cannabis Authority opened a second office in Chateaubriand today, and several traditional cannabis cultivators receive land from the government. CEO of the Medical Cannabis Authority, Dr. Gerald Thompson, announced that 2 portions of land totaling 100 acres have been allocated for the farmers. He explained that more traditional farmers will receive land over time.
We have 47 farmers who are going to be occupying over 100 acres of land at a place called Lasham Top Hill. This is an area that has been underutilized, but it's flat. It's flat, it's tractable, and we're looking to provide them with tools and so forth, and seedlings and things like that for vegetable seedling, so they could really make a living. And we're going to provide them with technical advice, how to do things properly, technical advice. So that's Lasham topic. But there's an area not too far away from here called Richmond. Because of the quarry, there has been about 15 acres of land that's been available to 9 farmers who are going to occupy those. So there's 2 processes in place. Richmond, as a result of the quarry, those persons are getting new pieces of land. And then at Lasham Top Hill, persons who formerly cultivated on the slopes of Soufrière, and there was deforestation, and of course Soufrière came and destroyed that whole area. They now have been given over 100 acres of land by which they would be able to do cultivation under organized control, monitored by the Medicinal Cannabis Authority. And I'm ready.
SVG-TV News spoke to the traditional cannabis cultivators who expressed their happiness at being recipients of lands that they said they had waited patiently for.
How do you feel about collecting?
I'm feeling happy. Get the letter from the government. Yes, because there's opportunity for us. We are traditional farmer and we need lands. You understand it? We need lands, and we feel happy we have the land. The government, they are turning over the land to us. Start already on my farm where I'm traditional weed all the time. But this one here, you know, I'm going to be thinking about that next 2 months. Yeah, in next 2 months, yeah.
Because if not my lands, I would not have nowhere to work. So I'm glad for the couple of years I have it. And it's doing good for me.
Okay, so where you used to farm?
Well, I'm farming at Tapel Mountain, Walibu. And another place they call Lasham. They are my lands where I farming for years. From my parents' time, I take over and to the hour now. About 40, 45 years since I'm farming.
Okay, so what you plan to plant there?
Well, I plant in like our cabbage, tomato, carrots, sweet pepper, eggplant, bean, you know, different things, and like potato, tanya, dasheen, and those things. And I also have animals.
In the 72 hours outlook, the SVG Met Services says scattered showers and thunderstorms are likely across St. Vincent and the Grenadines tonight. Residents and motorists in areas prone to flash flooding and landslides or near rivers and streams are asked to exercise caution. The Met Services says weak and stable conditions could linger across our islands over the next few days as trough systems cross the islands. Varying concentrations of Saharan dust could create slight haze across our area at times. Gentle to moderate breeze across our islands could vary between northeast and east, southeast in some locations, temporarily reducing to calm with no cooling effect during Wednesday. You're asked to be on the alert. Sea conditions are slight to moderate in open water with swells ranging from 0.5 to 1.0 meter west of our island and up to 1.8 meters east of our islands. The Met Services says it will continue to monitor developments across the Caribbean Sea and tropical Atlantic Ocean, issuing updates or advisories as necessary. In more local news now, we hear that the president of the SVG Teachers Union, Oswald Robinson, has expressed his disappointment with the announcements made by Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves as they did not address issues affecting teachers. That on Independence Night, the Prime Minister made an announcement aimed at alleviating the cost of living, including payments owed to police officers totaling over $500,000. Speaking on the SVG-TU program on SVG-TV, Robinson stated that the government still owes the union legal fees that have been due for more than 2 years.
Yes, the government made some very important pronouncements at the Independence celebration. Recently held, the Prime Minister made some announcements. But we were disappointed that it didn't honor the $58,000 that is still owed us in legal fees. The very bill that you're taking to the House of Parliament for public servants to run for political office without resigning, you still owe us $58,000. Legal fees, you lost the battle in the High Court, you have appealed, we won the battle and still you owed us, and another election, another independence have come and you have failed tremendously to honor that agreement, to make that announcement, to repay the teachers union $58,000.
Regarding salary increases for teachers, Robinson expressed his hope that the Prime Minister will include certain categories of teachers in future announcements.
Again, since 2010, the government owed principal $90 from the end of the allowance. And there were other categories of teachers which were also short paid by $70. I expect that when you are rewriting the historical wrongs, that you will be holistic in your presentation. I also want to make the point that there are still outstanding appointments. I was expecting to hear the Prime Minister say all the graduates who have already completed their first degrees at university would have been appointed this time. I have had a graduate teacher, somebody who was done 28 years, is a qualified assistant teacher, would have already completed a bachelor's degree, and yet to be appointed as a graduate. I was expecting that all the graduate teachers, both from the community college and from universities, who would have completed their studies successfully, I was expecting that the government was going to remove them, especially those who are still relief teachers.
And this month has been observed as Technical and Vocational Education and Training, a TVET month. In an address to mark the occasion, Minister of Education Curtis King stated that the month-long activities provide an opportunity to showcase the incredible talent, innovation and dedication within the technical institutes as well as in secondary and primary schools.
TVET month provides us with the opportunity to reaffirm our commitment to fostering a culture where vocational skills are respected and valued as drivers of our national economy. We recognize that TVET is more than just skills training. It is a path to inclusion and equity. For many of our citizens, TVET represents a lifeline, a chance to break free from poverty, unemployment, and marginalization. It is our duty, therefore, to ensure that TVET remains accessible, inclusive, and adaptable to the needs of learners, regardless of their background. As we celebrate TVET Month, we are also embarking on a journey to ensure that our TVET programs are future-focused, integrating innovation and entrepreneurship into our curricula. The world is changing rapidly, and the fourth industrial revolution is upon us. Modern technologies such as artificial intelligence, robotics, and automation are transforming the skills landscape. TVET must evolve to meet these changes, and we in St. Vincent and the Grenadines must not be left behind.
Minister King encouraged everyone to participate in the planned activities for TVET Month. One of the highlights of the events will be the inaugural TVET Youth Symposium, which is scheduled to be held on November 21st at the Methodist Church Hall, where key stakeholders in TVET will be engaged.
Aligned with our inclusive and collaborative approach to advancing TVET, this initiative will involve a coordinated effort between the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Tourism, the Ministry of Labor, and the Center for Enterprise Development. The theme for the symposium is Generation for Change, Shaping the Future of Youth through TVET. In closing, let me express my deepest gratitude to all the stakeholders who continue to champion TVET in our country. To the principals, teachers, instructors, and parents who dedicate their time and energy to imparting valuable knowledge and skills. To the students who inspire us with their ambition and hard work. And to our partners in industry who help us bridge the gap between training and employment, I say thank you. This TVET Month is not just a celebration, it is a call to action. Let us therefore use this month to raise awareness, inspire, and galvanize support for TVET as a vehicle for personal empowerment, national development, and global competitiveness. Together, we can shape a future where every individual has the opportunity to succeed.
And the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force received 15 laptops through a collaboration between the retired Staff Sergeant Anthony Tony Brown and the York Regional Police in Canada. The formal handover held on October 30th, 2024 at the Central Police Station. The SVG-PF says the laptops will help to enhance its technological resources, bolstering its operational efficiency and national policing capabilities. Commissioner of Police Enville Williams, who received the laptops on behalf of the SVG-PF, expressed gratitude for the collaborative effort, noting that the laptops will significantly enhance their investigative capabilities, enabling them to better serve the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. A Brownway native of Coleshill, St. Vincent, migrated to Canada as a young boy and later began his career with the York Regional Police. A strong advocate for community policing, the SVG-PF says the donation is part of Brown's ongoing efforts to support and strengthen the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force. The RSPF says it highly values these contributions and that it looks forward in its enthusiastic about future partnerships with York Regional Police to further strengthen its efforts to serve and protect the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.